Let me just, and I might occasionally like reference everybody because we're live. Okay, what's up? We're live today. We're about ready to go through some comps with an agent that's just joined the hype. So stay tuned. You guys won't be able to see my screen, but I'm going to be running some comps on things. I will try and check in on your guys' comments, but if I'm not ignoring you, I'm just looking at an entirely different screen.
Busy.
Okay.
She is.
All right. We're the kings and queens of multitasking. All right. So first what I do is I search for the address just to see if there's any previous listings. And it's great when there is, because then we have something to work with. So what this is telling me, it was the most recent. Well, this isn't necessarily in order timeline wise. So what I do, if there's a bunch of these, I'll click on the H button. That's the history. And then it does go in chronological order. So the latest that this thing was active or whatever on the MLS was this listing here. So I'm going to click on that MLS number because that's what happened the soonest. So then I just take a quick glance. I'm just trying to, get a feel for the property itself. And obviously we're going to, talk about if he's done any upgrades, things like that. But in general, at least we can get a good look at it. And Quentin, I'm sure you've already seen all this, but this is the first time I'm looking at it. Did he say that he did any is it remodeled, or is it kind of similar to when he bought it in 2018?
I believe similar to when he bought it. I don't think he's done anything to it.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Okay, so this is just under 5.5 acres. It's got a chicken coop, cute. A shop. Does it have power? Looks maybe. Okay, and then you said in his garage, though, he does have a commercial kitchen.
Yes.
Okay, so we're getting a good feel. You guys can see all this, right? So this is interesting. It's like so is this where I wonder if that's the road where you access?
Maybe it was on my end because my alarm just went off, but it froze on me.
Oh, gotcha. I'm just kind of talking to myself, looking at it. Okay, right. So I like to look at a map view. Okay. So I pull that up just to kind of see. So it looks like, so it's a flag lot. So definitely private. This is probably where the green space is that he's talking about. Let's just look. Yep, which is cool. Okay. And it looks like, so what this property line means is that this is not this is just like totally doesn't matter, but just stuff to know. Like this looks like it's not an it's not an easement. It looks like the actual like he owns this property. So more than likely he doesn't have to worry about an easement to access this person's property to get to his, if that makes sense. So again, not super major deal, but just something to note. All right, we've got just over 2,400 square feet, 4 beds, 3 baths, built in 84. And it sold 2018 in 2 days for $322. Okay. Cool.
That's a quick sell.
Yeah, that was quick. Well, it was 2018, so.
Yeah, true.
Different times. Okay. All right. So
age is a good one of real estate time.
So that's pretty much all. I'm just glancing. I'm not, doing too much with that. I like to save it as a PDF over here in case I need to reference it. And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to do a radius search on, a radius search on the property to build out my comps. Okay, let me just check. What's up, my people hopping on live? Hi, I am running comps with a new agent that's just joined the hype. So if you guys are in the hype, oh, thank you so much, Faith. Appreciate you. We are running some comps on a property for an agent that's just joined the hype squad. If you are already in the hype collective, you can join us in Discord if you would like, because I'm sharing my screen and you can see how I'm running comps for this property. Okay, so we're back. For this particular property, because it's a little further out and there's like more acreage properties, I'm probably going to have to go at minimum at minimum like a mile out and maybe more. If this was in a neighborhood where there's tons of houses and all of that, I try and get it as close. I want to find comps as close to that property as possible. But because I know we're going to have to go further out, I'm going to start with a mile. And then, first, I always clear out everything because it like saves whatever you search last. So clear out everything. I want to look at active, like bumpable is fine. That's pretty much active. So active bumpable, currently pending, and then sold within the last 6 months. So I just want to see what's closed recently. It's a detached house, so I make sure I don't want to get any condos or townhouses or anything in there. And then because it's 4 bedrooms, I think I'm going to do a minimum of 3 bedrooms. And then there's 3 bathrooms, so I'm going to do a minimum of 2. And again, just going to keep it really basic at first just to see what that gets me. And that gets me 0. So that tells me a couple of things. Then I kind of play around. So I'm just going to go 2 miles out and see if that gets me anything. 3. Okay. Then I might take out certain things because what I'm looking for is ideally when I'm presenting comps to a seller, like 5 to 7 max is what I usually like to look at. Otherwise, it's like just like showing a buyer, 5 to 7 houses in a day is about max that the information that people can get. So ideally that's about how much I want. I want to see more than that in the beginning to be able to narrow it down. I may also mess around with, okay, let's go 9 months back just to see if that. Yep.
Just for clarification for the audience, you mess around with the radius first before you mess around with the timeline.
Correct. Yeah, I want to keep it as close, like 6 months back as possible, because appraisers like to have comps that go 6 months back or sooner. And so I want to make sure that the comps I'm looking at are the comps that the appraisers are seeing. If I go like a year back, those might not be like A, the market's different, and B, appraisers may not be using those comps, right? So we try and get it as close to the time frame as possible. 6 months is a good range, but there's either just not a lot of sales. Those of you that don't know, this area is further out. It's kind of more country, outside of the major cities. So I think what I'm going to do is see. Okay, that doesn't give us much. I'm just going to have to go further out. I'm going to go 3 miles out, see what that gives me. If I get double digits, then I'll go for it. Okay, cool. So I've got 11. We're 3 miles out within the last 6 months, active, pending, and sold comps. So let's just see what we got there. Checking. Nice. What's up, Stylish Bear? Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 active, nothing pending, and 6 or so sold, which that's good. Ideally you want to see a funnel, like a proper funnel, or excuse me, an inverted funnel. You want there to be more sold than there are active, right? And like a healthy pipeline. So that's good. This tells me, okay, there's at least a relative proportional number of active and solds.
Your shared screen is still stuck on the listing and not what you're doing with the search.
You guys can't see the RMLS right here?
We see RMLS, but still on the list, and it's not doing any of the search criteria you've been doing.
Oh, fabulous. Thank you for letting me know. Oh, weird. Okay, let me stop and reshare. Screens, entire screen. All right, can you see that now?
It's still loading. There we go. Yep.
Okay, cool. So what I was doing, are you still with me, Quentin?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you. Okay, so on this search page that you're looking at, what I was doing is I was messing around with like radius, how far out, active, pending, sold in the last 6 months versus 9 months, playing around with bedrooms, bathrooms, stuff like that. So that's what I was doing here. And again, for this particular property, I had to go 3 miles out to get, into double digit comps to look at. So this is where I'm seeing the, 5 active and 6 that are sold here. So what I'm looking for, obviously we know because Quentin did the right thing and asked the seller what he thought his property was worth. So we do have some information on that. He wants to sell / thinks it's worth about $550 to $560. So that helps us at least know if we're in the ballpark or not. So right away, again, comparing, just looking at square footage, bedroom, bathroom count, and acreage. That's another thing I actually didn't even put on here on the search criteria. Usually I would put like minimum 1 acre. If they have acreage, if they have 1 to 10 acres, I like in the search. Okay, perfect, good. So most of this, all of these comps I'm pulling here have at minimum 1 acre. So, all right. So we got 5 and 5, it looks like. So I'm probably going to look at most of these. So like these active ones, we don't dictate price on what's active necessarily. This is just information for the seller of like, hey, if we go on the market today, which this client, wants to list it as soon as possible. When we go on the market, we want these houses that are your competition to sell your house, not your house to help sell theirs. So we need to either beat them in price or amenities, and ideally both. So, but where we really focus on are the sold comparables, because this is, a buyer was willing to pay this price and a bank was willing to loan on it, right? So, so this is where we do the majority of the focus, but I still like to know what our competition is. So because all of these except for this top one, I'm going to look at just to see. And luckily, all of these, so if he listed at 550, 560, that's going to put him on the lower end of what these are here. So feeling good so far. Then looking at the sold comps, we have a range of 344,000 to 629.9, which is good. He's right smack kind of in the middle of that. I'm going to look at these. He bought in 2018 for, 3 something. So this one is probably not going to be a good one. So we've got eight properties to sift through and see what we got. Any questions so far?
No questions.
Okay, cool.
Thank you.
All right, I'm going to look at it in the agent abbreviated view because that is the old view, but it's the one I know best. So this first one, again, I'm not spending a ton of time on these. I'm just getting a feel for like, is this a comparable property? Is it similar in, specs and things like that? This one, definitely, I would say, if his house looks similar to what it was in 2018, he hasn't done much. This one I would technically consider better. This shop is fairly similar to his. And the age of this house is in the same era. It's a little bit older, but this one has been remodeled. So clearly, this is the house is going to be more updated than his. So this is actually a pretty decent comp. So they're listed at 550. They've got 4.5 acres. We've got 5.5. A lot smaller of a house and only 3 bed, 2 bath. They've been on the market for 1 day. So that would be, this is going to definitely be a comp that, if people are looking in this area, they're going to look at both this house and yours. Okay. So I'm going to keep that one. Zimmerman Road. Sold a house on that road 2 years ago.
Sounds like a Beatles lyric, Zimmerman Road.
Okay, so this is interesting. It's almost 10 acres, but it's definitely a fixer house. So not as good of a comp. Yeah, this is interesting. 3 beds, 2 baths. I'm like, where is the house? I don't even have photos of the interior, so that's a little rough. But it's been on the market for 2 weeks, so who knows? Oh, this is currently an active cannabis farm. Listing agent must be company all showing. Seller willing to sell entire business and license if someone's interested. Home on property of no value. List price does not include business. So this is not the most ideal comp, but again, it's in the similar price range that he wants to be in. So for now, I'm going to keep it. But if the house has no value and it's double in acreage, less of a comparable than this one is. Okay, Fern Hill. This one's also active at 6:30. Let me see. Been on the market. Yep, I knew it. This one's been on the market for 262 days. So, again, has some acreage, almost 4 acres. Definitely the house is remodeled. So a lot more modern. Still built. It was built in 39 though. So that's interesting. Probably remodeled in the 90s. Just based on the finishes, maybe early 2000s. But, Nice, decent. It's
Well,
probably
the fast of the 90s and 2000s is starting to come back.
okay. So this one though is very comparable on square footage, bedroom and bathroom count, and acreage again. 3 3/4 versus 5.5. Not a huge difference. So, but they've been on the market for 262 days. So we definitely know they're overpriced. By how much? Hard to say, but they should probably be under 600. Townsend Road. What is this one? This one's just under 3.5 acres. Nicer house than ours, more updated. Looks like a 2006 update. So yeah, also early 2000s, but that's super nice. Okay, so better house, a little bit smaller in acreage, definitely bigger in square footage, but similar bedrooms, bathroom count. They've been on the market for just over 30 days, and they're listed at $689. They're probably also overpriced. Okay, now we're getting to the sold comps. So these are the ones that I'm really looking at. Sorry, I'm just checking comments. What's up if you're just joining? We're running comps. Okay, so this one sold for $450, originally started at $550. And this was back in January that it sold. So they listed in December, which was a rough time to list, but so they ended up selling for $450 in 164 days. And it's a smaller house, less bedrooms, less bathrooms. So we can probably on this one. Can you guys see the pictures okay too? As I'm scrolling through them. So, we could probably safely say that we're higher than this one because we got, about an acre more plus more square footage, an additional bathroom bedroom and an additional bath. And they sold at a rougher time. Like the market's better now than it was back in December, January. But that's a comp I'd probably show them. Okay, this one sold for what they listed it for. So 500,000 sold in less than a month, and that was more recent. So that was it went pending in February, sold in April. When was it built? It was built in the same era. So built in the same era. Looks like, not too many updates really. So it feels a little bit more similar to our subject property. Ooh, that's a cool view. This is probably so boring watching this when you don't actually see the screen. Okay, cool. Less acreage as well. So interesting. So this is helpful. But do you see like the I think we're trending in the right direction, and already our pricing range is starting to narrow in just based on what we're seeing here. So with that info, I'm like, okay, I'd be confident listing above 500 because we've got bigger acreage. It's a similar, setup, a little bit bigger house, one additional bedroom. And again, they listed in February, which now is a better time, at least just with what's happened the last current 6 months. Okay. And then this one also sold for, that one sold for 520. They started at 550, ended up selling at 520. It took them 112 days. Smaller house and only 2 bedrooms, but it's got 23 acres. So not as great of a comp just because of that discrepancy in smaller house, but a lot bigger acreage. But as you can see, like so this one sold for 520, this one sold for 500, but it has 20 more acres than that one does. So these types of properties are super nuanced, which is why pricing these types of properties is more like an art form, not so much of a science. And so really looking at all the aspects is important, like what's going on in the current market, what's recently sold, where is it located, all that kind of stuff. Sometimes I look at the aerial view. Okay. Let's keep going. We've got this one on Fern Hill. It's got almost 40 acres and it sold for $630 in January, and it took them 156 days to do it. This house looks like it's updated. Yep. So built in the 50s, but definitely more modern update. So this house is better. It's one less bedroom, but definitely the house is better, and it's got 35 more acres on it. So what I know from this is that we're definitely lower than 620, but we're probably higher than 500. So at least, at least his number is actually right in the middle of that. And so he's probably fairly accurate, as far as that pricing. Now, I'm not going to say to yourself, oh, I know it's worth 550. Or I don't ever say that. I do exactly what I did with you just there and saying, hey, these are the things to note about all of these things. We definitely know you're better than this one. You're above 500 and you're below 630. And based on what your competition is of these, I think being in that price range, especially with this one's going to be his biggest comparable of people that want acreage and a house, in this general era that it was built. But his is better than this one a little bit because it's got one extra bedroom and it's definitely a bigger house, almost 1,000 square feet bigger. So to be honest with you, after looking at that real quick, I think 550, 560 would be a good price point. What we don't know is if this property is overpriced. It's only been on the market for a day, this comp. So if this was on the market for like 150 days, I'd be like, okay, well, they're obviously overpriced. So maybe this is where we should come in at, or, slightly lower or something. But does that make sense? I know that's like boring and I went through it fast, but.
No, that makes sense.
Okay.
So, Jed, something I'm a little curious about when you're presenting this, if you were presenting this to a client, how many of these properties would you actually bring to their attention so they don't get information overload and they're like, ugh?
Yeah, I would definitely bring this. So on the active ones, maybe 2 or 3. I mean, again, just depending on how closely they were. I feel like these first 2 were the best ones, and conveniently they're right in the price range that he wants to be. But that's a little bit of coincidence. That's just those are the closest comparables. Well, this one's a little off, just because it's a cannabis farm and the property has no value. But I still might take that one, and then the only reason I would take this one, like one that's way over the pricing of what it should be, is if I think showing them what something like a house that's better than it, like, if they, let's say they thought that their house was worth 600. I'd be like, well, this one's been on the market for 262 days. It's a better house, bigger and more updated, and they've been sitting for 630. So like, if you don't want your story to be like this one, then, we gotta get more, realistic on price. But I would probably, I don't think in this case you would need to do that. I would probably just take these 2 for the active. And then for the sold ones, I think that the bottom, yeah, I think these 3, the 500, and the 630 is probably what I would take. So, like I said, five, I like 5 comps, a couple actives, a handful of solds, maybe 7, if you have, anywhere from 3 to 5 sold comps, I think is good. And then, 1 or 2 actives. If you have any pending, that's great too. Cause you can say, hey, we don't know what it went under contract for, but we know that it went, pending in 14 days. They, didn't do any price drops, so they probably got somewhere near what they listed it for because they sold pretty quickly. Or this one sat for 200 days and, they did 3 price reductions. And so, so you can kind of just make some, decent assumptions based on all the information that's there. Okay.
Have you even called an agent a few times with pending and just tried to suss out a bit?
Yep. Yeah. So if there's not a lot of comps, or there's one that's pending that really swings something, or like I really want to know, like, what did you go? And I actually did that on a listing that I had here in Florida that I just listed. I saw one that just went pending, and it was like same area, really similar price point. And so I called up that agent. I was like, hey, do you I know you're not allowed to tell me the things, but like, did you kind of roughly get what you were last listed at, or did it go above? Did you get multiple offers? Like I can ask stuff like that. And sometimes agents are cool and they'll answer my question. Other times, they're not as helpful, but usually agents are. They're like, oh yeah, like we got a good offer or whatever. And so that then I can go to my listing appointment or my seller and say, hey, on this pending one, I actually called this agent and they gave me the inside scoop and they actually ended up getting what they listed it for. So that's a really solid comp. That's probably going to be something that the appraiser is going to see by the time we go active.
Well, also, it seems like kind of a bragging opportunity for them too if they get what they listed for.
Yep, there you go. So, Quentin, do you want any of these? I can email these to you or this link if you want.
Yes, please.
Okay.
I didn't even know we could do those on here. I thought we had to use RPR, so this is all good information for me.
Sweet. Love it. Okay, cool. So I'm going to, and then, so if I'm going to email this out, because sometimes I'll email comps to either clients or like agents, like what we're doing right now. So you can go to select report. You can do any agent view, obviously, and then you can do a client full. And so that's typically what I do. And then it emails them a link so that they can actually click on the properties. They can search through all the photos, click on the hyperlinks, all of that. So then I just click email and then great email, by the way, Quentin the Realtor. Is it what is it at Gmail?
The agent.
Oh,
no, the agent.
Yeah, my bad. An agent is better. Okay, Quentin the agent.
Very good.
At
Gmail.
Okay, did I spell it all correctly?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. All right, and then we'll say, what's this property? Hutchinson. And I'm going to give you all of them, like, so you can sift through and you can, create your own search if you want or whatever, but you don't necessarily have to share all of them, but that's what came up in the search. Cool.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, you bet. Okay, so that being said, I think he's right on the money. I would be totally fine listing it between 550 and 560. Especially with this guy being the comp or being listed at 550. Again, if we're trying to either beat out a property in its specs and or price, ideally both. If you listed it at 550, you're equal to this one, but with the subject with our property, you get 1,000 more square feet in an additional bedroom. So, but again, if you wanted to do 560, I'd be fine with that too. This shop looks better than his though. And the house is a little bit, just looks a little bit better shape than his. So, and like I said, the unfortunate part is that it's brand new to the market. So we really don't know, like if it's priced right or not necessarily, because there's just not much data for us to go by. Cool. Well, so your RPR, the reason why your RPR was probably a lot further off or a little bit further off than what I'm seeing is because since it is it's a tougher property comp because it's further out from the city. It's not a cookie cutter house. There's lots of acreage properties. So the more nuanced a property is, the less that the algorithms in places like RPR are going to be accurate.
Okay. That's good to know.
Sweet. Okay, so for this one, we've got, like I said, the pricing, luckily that rarely happens. Like what the seller wants to sell for is actually aligning pretty darn good with what the comps are showing. So you'll, when you call them back, you can talk about that. In order for Val to send out the listing paperwork, she does need to know, what the list price we have on there, what the list date's going to be, the expiration date. Typically, so, I would say it's worth calling him today about some of that stuff so we can get the paperwork to him. And if you have to talk about some of the other stuff, have another conversation later, that's fine. But since getting this thing live is the most important thing to him, I would try and do that so we can get paperwork out. And then I would ask him, would you be ready for photos either Tuesday or Wednesday next week for a list date of Friday? And if the answer is yes, kind of work out like, hey, give me some time frames, Tuesday or Wednesday that would work for you. And then Val will also schedule the photos based on, the timing that works for him. And we can order the sign today as well. What else was I going to say? Hang on. There's a vacuum or something happening in the background. It's very distracting. And then what else, Quentin, was on our list of things that we needed to talk about with him, other than the lender stuff?
Second, I believe that was all.
Okay. Yeah, so I would
And
probably.
then, he did want some more information as far as like the contingency. How would it work? Like if he wasn't able to get into the other house, he's like, oh, I don't want to homeless. I'm like, oh, it doesn't work like that. You'll be okay, I'm sure.
Sorry, you were kind of muffled there. What was the ending part? What does he want?
He was saying like if it doesn't work out, he can't get into the other property. The contingency, how would that work? Would it just fall off, or how would that process
Oh,
work?
so basically, if he can't get that specific house, he doesn't want to move. Is that
Correct.
what he's saying? Okay, so then what we're going to
Yeah.
need to do is in the listing, when we list it, we can put sales subject to seller finding suitable housing. But hopefully by the time we actually get it live, so we have a week for him to figure out the financing stuff. And so that's what, as soon as we get the listing paperwork signed and we kind of, we set up the photos, set up the sign, get all that done today, then we should, help guide him through seeing if the seller financing would work and going the conventional route with a lender, so that we can have as much information as possible before we go live on Friday. And not that it has to all be worked out, but like,
Okay.
ideally we have enough information. We're far enough along in the process that we should be able to at least have a good handle on that to have a good idea that if it'll work or not by then. So you can just tell
Okay.
them like,
And
hey,
then
yeah,
I'll do some digging.
Oh, go ahead.
I'll do some digging and just pick his brain and see if he would be open to moving to somewhere else.
Yes.
Does it have to be that one property?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, definitely ask him about that because, and you can set him up. Do you have your KV Core account set up by chance?
Yes.
Okay, because you could set up either in KV Core or the MLS. You could set him up on a home search if you haven't already for what it is that he's looking for, and at least be sending him other houses as we're doing this too. So another thing to add to your list.
Jen, have you put him in touch with Val already?
Yeah. Yep. Val has
Okay.
all the info. We just need to
Just
get her price and all
Just
that.
double check.
Yes, thank you, sir. Okay, so let's talk to him about, confirming price range. If it were me, I would tell him, hey, looking at these comps, I can send these your way if you want. You've got, your main competition is this property that's listed for $550. It's better in this way, but but doesn't have this, whatever. Like you just have that conversation about it and say, but honestly, somewhere right in between $550 to $560, I'd be comfortable listing it at. So do you have a preference on where in that range you want to start? And just see what he says. He's probably going to say $560, and that's fine. So say, okay, we're going to add that to the paperwork. Would you be ready for photos on Tuesday or Wednesday next week for a list date of Friday? And then find that out. And then if he says yes, then say, okay, perfect. Then we should be able to get it live on Friday as long as we get photos done by Wednesday. So you can work those details out. And then, and I mean, if you want to continue the conversation on the financing piece of it, I would just say, confirm with him like, hey, I think it's smart to get approved with the lender that at Loan Depot, because he has a relationship with that person, and see what those numbers are. And I would say have him, now that we know we're going to be listing in that 550 range, and what you owe, have him send you a loan app so that you can get that process started, because we really can't know anything until you do that. So encourage him to fill out the loan application with the lender. And then you can also say, hey, you know, if you want a second opinion, I've got a great local lender as well. It doesn't hurt to just, you know, weigh all your options.
Okay.
So that's when you can plug that.
Okay.
And
Sounds
then,
great.
And then you could, you know, if you're vibing or whatever, and you want to dig in a little bit more to the seller financing, are you familiar with seller financing and how that works?
Just a little bit. I don't know like all the details of how it works, but somewhat familiar.
Okay. And you can ask him too. I would just say, hey, like, have you ever done seller financing, or are you familiar with it? And if he says no, and he wants to know more about that, how I explain it to people is, you know, essentially the seller of the property is the bank. They're the ones, you know, loaning you the money, so to speak. And so you're going to be paying them monthly, and you can set up an escrow, third party escrow account, you know, to make all that happen. And how we typically, how the numbers work out is that typically a seller is usually wants a larger down payment than a conventional loan. It can be anything. I mean, all the terms on seller financing are negotiable, but usually what happens is the seller wants, you know, like a 50%, usually it's like 50% or more down payment on the property, which I don't think he's going to, how much does your client owe on his property again?
278 and then a 50K HELOC.
Okay, so and he's expecting to net, if we get the price we want, about 200,000 net. Okay.
Yeah, I think so for mine, I'll give some more clarification. So from my understanding, that they want the 200 in order for him to even go forward with this for that property, the seller.
Okay. So, okay, so in your notes, we're going to do a couple other things, and we touched on them earlier. We want to get a seller net sheet from title company, and I'll send you. Actually, Jeremy, do you have Dodie Schmaltz? Do you know my title person?
Give me, and I'll find it in your info.
Okay, Dodie Schmaltz with Ticor Title.
Give me a second. Sorry, my pen is not working.
It's
Dodie who?
It's so either Jerry or I will send you that, but I would email Dodie, and I can get it to him, Jerry. It's just an email. So
Okay.
It's their team. I'm gonna have you email their team email and just say, hey, you know, hey team, I'm on Jen Grandjohn's team, and I'm gonna be listing this property. Can you run me a seller net sheet for this? And what they're going to need is sale price. So what, you know, you could do 550 or 560, and they're going to need what their rough payoff is, which you have that information. Commissions. So did you?
I got it.
Oh, okay, cool. And then did you have a conversation with him about buyer agent compensation, or just yours?
I did not.
Okay.
About the buyer agent compensation, I did not.
So you will. Do you feel do you feel confident about talking to him about that?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. So yeah.
But how do I approach it? I feel comfortable enough to do it. I just have to.
Oh, sure. Just like the approach. Yep. So how I like to describe it is buyer's agent compensation is negotiable. They don't have to pay one. They get to decide, you know, what they do. Typically, what I recommend people doing is just like buyer's agents, when they write up an offer, like when, you know, if a buyer wants to make an offer on your property and they're represented by a buyer's agent, that buyer's agent will not only will it have the offer terms for the buyer, but they also have a space in that offer to ask for their compensation to be paid by you, the seller. And we can counter back, you know, anything that you want. Typically what I'm seeing are that sellers are still offering a buyer agent compensation because that's how it's been done for so long. And a lot of buyers can't afford their down payment and all the closing costs and their agent compensation. So wrapping it into the sales price is usually more feasible for people. But again, everything's negotiable. So we can just, if you want to bookmark and, like have that as a line item and an expense, just so that, you were conservative on the estimate for what you're going to net. Like, on your net sheet, I'll go ahead and just put it in there as if you were going to, pay a buyer's agent compensation. But again, you still have full reins to be able to counter back or whatever based on the offer that you get.
Do you know what I say? Do you know what I say when people ask me about my commission?
What?
I say I charge 3%. And if there is a buyer's agent involved, which a lot of times there isn't, but if there is, then they are going to negotiate with me. And that means that they're either going to give you an offer good enough to make us want to pay that 3%, or they're going to pay their own. That's it. And they're always like, yeah, that's cool.
A lot cooler way to say it. There you go. That's why we love you, Jeremy. So there you go. There's two versions of it, but essentially it's negotiable, and you'll handle that at the time, but you're very aware of what he needs to net. So you can always negotiate and, make that happen.
I just got a listing from a yard sale, from a garage sale.
What?
Nice.
That's freaking awesome.
I walked up to him and I was like, "What's going on? Why are you selling all your shit?" He goes, "Why, are you a realtor?" I said, "Of course I am." He was like, you're the third realtor today." I was like, "All right, here's my card. You ain't going to find anybody better than me." He was like, "Well, you had a card. They didn't." I was like, "All right." I sat there and talked to him for a while. His grandfather was a Freemason. I'm a Freemason. So, of course, he loved that. And we talked for a good hour, and then he said, "All right, I'll call you."
Hell yeah. So Quentin, meet Jeremy. Jeremy, meet Quentin.
Nice to meet you.
This is why they call part of the reason they call me Jer Bear, by the way. Just to avoid this confusion.
So
Jeremy, I gotta tell you how my calls went today.
How did your calls go?
Almost every single person I talked to was excited when they found out I was a realtor, and I was calling them, offering to help them track the value of their home for when it's rehabbed and they're ready to list it rehabbed in the next couple months here.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
Did you call for sale by owners?
No, I called canceled and expired flooded properties.
Hell yeah.
That's all I've been calling.
Good job.
There we go.
Where are you at, Clinton?
In Oregon.
In Oregon?
He's the newest member of Jen's local team.
Okay.
Whoop whoop. Yeah, we were just running comps on a listing he's got. He coming in hot with a buy sell.
Good.
Okay, Quentin, do you have
right.
any other questions for me? Do you feel like you are set for calling your seller to get the info you need?
Yes.
Oh, I forgot to finish my thought. When you email the title company, I'm going to give you their email. Just tell them, "Hey, I'm on Jen's team. I need a seller net sheet for this property." So they need the property address, the sale price, or the estimated sales price, the loan payoff amount, and realtor commissions. And just go ahead and put yours, the commission you negotiate with him, and do a 2.5% buyer agent fee.
Okay.
All right. I just got on the email. I originally just gave him her phone number, but he's got the email now too.
Okay. Did you send him Doty's email or the team Clackamas email?
The team one. The team Portland, technically.
It should be team Clackamas.
Yeah. It says team-Portland.
I know.
I'm looking at the vendor list
They have
right now.
multiple offices, but the escrow officer that I want is in Clackamas. So I'm just gonna put it in the chat for you,
Okay.
Quentin.
All right. Let me update that then in our vendor list too then, Jen.
Okay, so Quentin, there is a chat box in this office, and I just put it in there. Do you see the chat box?
I see it.
Perfect. So if
All
you
right.
click on that, you'll be able to copy the email from there.
Okay. I'm updating the vendor list right now for us then.
Sweet.
Multi-efficient. That's the way we roll.
Yes. Sweet. Okay, so you're going to get a seller net sheet. You are going to, you have all the things you're going to talk about. I feel like there was one other thing we were.
Confirmed list price, seller net sheet.
Mm-hmm.
I've still never done.
Jeremy, it's going to bite you in the ass, and then you're going to be like, dang it, Jen, you're right.
I've never done it.
Well, there's going to be a first time for everything, dude.
You can get away with a lot of things, Jeremy, so I'm not worried about you.
I do get away with a lot of shit.
He gets away with it until he doesn't. Same thing for everybody. First time for everything.
He'll be all right. Okay, so Quentin, sorry, we've got list price. You're going to do the seller net sheet. You're going to do, give him an extra lender to chat with, encourage him. Like you need to get pre-approved just to make sure we know if that's an option or not, or if only seller financing is going to be. But I mean, I can't imagine. Does he have like a W-2 job, or like, at least consistent income?
I believe he works for himself with his business and plants and all that stuff.
Okay, then I would very much encourage him to talk with Jen, the lender, because again, when you have, the more complicated a deal, the less confident I am in the bigger guys that do bulk loans to close it.
Okay.
Okay, sorry, I'm having a smoothie. So, I think that's a good start. I think, having that conversation with him, and then confirming that if he's ready for photos next week, and then a list date of Friday. And then you can let him know, like, hey, usually I do, and this is just what I do. Usually I do like a 6-month contract for listings. Not that I'm expecting it to take that long, but just it can avoid, continuing to send you extensions throughout the listing while we're pending.
Always give them the option for a terminatable contract. Say, if I'm not doing my job or you don't feel this is going right, you can fire me at any time. That makes them easy, and they don't care about how long the process is.
Yep, exactly. I always say that. This was a referral. He like already has it in the bag. So we're at this point, we're just sending over listing paperwork. But yes, that is a very good point. I will always let people know, like, hey, if this isn't working out, I mean, obviously I would love to know ahead of time. Like, if you're not happy with something, give me a chance to fix it or whatever. But yeah, if it's not working for you, then I'll cancel the contract for you.
Okay.
Hey, Manny. Manny's in the chat. Hello. Manny's a hype agent in Vegas. We've got Elizabeth in here. Stylish Bear.
He's taking a minute off from gambling.
This guy's a high roller. All right, Quentin.
The amount of he's doing in Vegas, he can afford to be.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He's doing pretty good.
All right, Quentin, do you feel prepped? Do you need anything else?
No, I think I'm all good. And then the net sheet from the title company. Yeah, I think I'm all good. I'll give them a call right now. I got a little bit of time before I got to go.
Okay, cool.
Sweet.
Sounds good. Let me know how it goes. Tell me right away. Go ahead.
Do you think I should forward them over the properties that you sent me?
I would call them first and just say, hey, this is what I'm seeing. Just give them a rough idea and say, do you want me to send you over these comps? And then, then if he's like, yeah, I want to look, then okay. But I mean, you're not, I would say, definitely yes, if like the pricing that you are seeing is different than what he wants, but I would just be straight up with him, like, hey, look, actually looking at these comps, I think you're right on the money with the 550 to 560. So whatever you want to list at in between that range, I'm totally good with. And then you can say, I can send you these comps if you want, but he'd probably be like, oh, whatever.
Yeah, he's pretty down to earth, pretty laid back guy.
Yeah. So, so as soon as you get off that call and you get the answers, Val will need list the list, everything in that email that you had TBD on there.
Okay. Yeah.
And then she'll send that out.
Okay.
Cool. Okay, well, let us know how it
Sure.
goes.
Anything else
I
we're
will.
forgetting?
I mean, there's more to this, like there's more down the line, but first things first, we got to get the paperwork signed.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
oh, I also, I didn't finish the conversation on the seller financing, but just ask him what his comfortability level with it is. And, if you don't feel comfortable like going into it, if he's not really sure, or I mean, I would just ask him like, hey, have you talked with the owner of that house like in depth about what seller financing would look like and what kind of terms he's looking for? And so just get that answer. Like, is it just something that they, have chatted about in passing as an idea, or like, and if he says that they have talked about it, be like, okay, well, like, what are the terms that you guys discussed? And by terms,
Yeah,
I
it seems
mean,
like they.
oh, go ahead.
I think they. So the seller already has some attorneys, and then he got some attorneys already. So it seems like they're already in the process of
Oh,
talking.
cool. Okay. Well, that's good then. So yeah, I would just ask him,
Okay.
status of that, or have they
Okay.
worked out
What's the
any
status?
particular terms?
What the terms?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Cool. Awesome. Well, this is
Cool.
exciting.
Great way to end the week.
Absolutely. Happy Memorial Weekend.
3-day
Oh, yeah.
weekend.
Thank you.
You betcha.
Thanks.
All right. Well, you can
The
make the
weekend
call.
doesn't-
You don't have to
we'll
leave,
see.
Quentin. You could make the call in here if you want. You can mute us.
Okay.
This-
I would, but I do gotta hurry up and get ready though, because I gotta go to this open house.
Oh yeah, you're good.
I'm
You're
sorry.
good. I was just, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. See you
But
later.
I will give him a call though.
Okay.
Sure.
Sounds good. Let me know how it goes. Bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you.
We don't have a closing time here in Hype.
No. Okay, Jen, so what I decided to do about calls, because the calls were going really well the Friday before Memorial Day. So I did half of like a full day's calls today, and I'm going to do the other half first thing on Monday.
Ooh, fabulous. Love that.
Yeah, it'll be an hour max.
Love it. Ooh, we have a question from Elizabeth. Elizabeth, are you still here? Okay. She says, what is your most successful Facebook or Google ad? So I've done lots of them. So are you talking about for like just to get leads? Are you talking about for a listing? Tell me and do you mean like what type, or give me more context on that? Because I've done a lot of those. I do a lot of, I do both Google ads and social media. So like Facebook and Instagram ads for getting leads, like specifically buyer leads for my teams that I run. And I have, I put more money in to get a listing. Okay. So, the ones that I like to do are, actually, strangely, one thing that I do that actually gets me listings, like not in a, it's not an actual listing ad. It's to attract buyers, but I sometimes get good listings from it. When people see it is when I'll do an ad on a actual listing that I make live, that go like new to the market or whatever. And so, because if another seller in that same area that they get targeted to sees that I'm advertising for my listings, oftentimes I get decent high quality leads if it's a seller lead from those. I need to talk to my Stylish Barry. You want to check in? I have a marketing director that like handles a lot of that stuff for me. But if you're trying to target listings, then I would run ads. Just make sure like there's a lot to this, because you can hire, companies that do run the ad spend for you, so that, and then, you can tell them like, hey, I'm targeting, I want to get a listing in these areas. I want these demographics and all of that. So if you're not as skilled in doing those things, you definitely pay a little bit more, but if you trust the company that you're working with, like they can run some of those for you. I don't know if I answered your question. What's up? It's Clinton. Luke, what's going on? How are you? It's been a minute. Are you selling all the things? Oh, Manny's getting his first Novation deal, going to list at 500K. Heck yeah.
It's an innovation deal.
What's going on? Okay, so Stylish Bear coming in hot with a marketing tip. Yes, if you want seller leads, yes, I know. I'm a literal person. I'm going to answer the question, but yes, Elizabeth, in general, oh, I think she left, but whatever. In general, if you want seller leads, then I would circle prospect. If you can't afford it, I would get a power dialer, something like Vulcan 7. I use that. I have all the agents on my teams use Vulcan 7 to get for sale by owners, expireds, and circle prospect, and for rent by owners on that. So in general, if you want seller leads, then something like that is definitely what I would do. Cool. What's up, Grace? Grace asked for a shout out on YouTube. Shout out to Grace. What's up, girl? I mean, you could hook up with an HOA and host a block party. Absolutely. I mean, there's tons of ways to get seller leads, but I think the most efficient and effective way, or one of the most efficient and effective way to have the opportunity to talk to the most amount of people in the shortest amount of time is making calls. Yep.
I can tell you, I would rather call all day long than door knock in this heat.
Yeah.
Well, you live in Florida too, so.
Yeah, I would look like a wet rat by the end of the day.
Oh, definitely my Discord. Sorry. Like turn it down or mute these people.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. It's just the feedback because you guys are like, so close to the mic on my laptop where I'm streaming. You guys are just loud. Stylish Bear's calling you out, Clinton. Great question. Clinton, you should at least join the Hype Collective. You don't have to change brokerages. You can still join us. We'd love to have you. Am I having popcorn at 4:55 p.m.? Yes. It's delicious stuff. I think it's Lesser Evil. They cook this in ghee.
I've been obsessed with goldfish lately.
See? I'm not the only one.
Have you picked up those Annie bunnies yet?
Have I what?
Those are good too, but I don't know.
I got to do a Costco run tonight. I don't want to deal with it tomorrow on a Saturday of a 3-day weekend.
Probably smart. It's probably still busy right now, though, being 5 o'clock.
Should have done it yesterday. Would have, could have, should have.
Heck yeah, Clinton. Welcome to the squad. Let's go.
All right.
Wait, what, Clinton? Clinton, what the heck? I'm offended. I am offended. You didn't talk to me. What?
Unless he switched to EXP and hasn't told you yet, yeah, we ought to be like, change.
So he says, Clinton. All right, I'm calling you. I need the tea. Yes, on live. Clinton, where are you? I'm calling you. If you don't pick up my call, he didn't pick up my call. He's like, I'm not doing it. Calling you out, my guy. Clinton, we love you. Don't make a mistake. Oh, okay. All right, Clinton. Call me when she wakes up.
Hiding behind a kid.
Blames it on the kids. That's what I do too, and I don't want to talk to telemarketers. Oh my gosh, cute.
You
Jeremy,
found a
got this
good
in.
one a few months ago, and it doesn't have to be true or not. You found a good one a few months ago for dealing with door-to-door sellers going, oh, we rent.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. I finally put Bear's gift to use in the office.
Sorry, I'm reading a text message from my client. Mm-hmm.
Oh, Zaddy, Nicole, you're gonna laugh at this. So I had this entire white outfit. If you're seeing the camera, I had this entire white outfit going on, and my students today said, "We love the Backstreet Boys look you've got going on."
I saw that story you posted.
Oh my God, I love that.
It's so good. It's fabulous.
Two classes in a row that my students have loved Temu outfits that I'm wearing.
All right, probably so.
Just one of the things I picked up in Hype Squad is a fashion sense, especially from our stylish Bear.
Of course. Oh, dang, Clinton. What are the splits like over there, though? I'm curious.
Ooh.
Oh, I missed his. Hang on. I'm also going to have a few weeks with my buyer from that weekend. Sarah. Oh my gosh. I am curious on that. We should definitely catch up. Okay. I have so much stuff.
Did
to do.
you, speaking of Tampa, Jen, did you see, this is from what you and I were talking about, did you see what Nicole said is in Tampa now?
What? Mm-mm.
The Dutch Bros.
Oh, seriously?
Say, I don't know. Oh, say, yeah, we have a Dutch Bros.
Huh. They made it to the East Coast. I did not know.
South Tampa.
Hmm.
So we need to go plan a work day in South Tampa and get Dutch Bros.
Heck yeah. I'm into it.
Yes.
Nicole, just tell them it's your birthday. The Bear taught me that one.
Do they check your ID?
They did on the 2 days that we did it with me on my actual birthday and the day after.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, it's getting close. I won't have to lie.
There you go. Wyatt's is coming up too.
Mm-hmm. Can't believe he's only going to be 24. I feel so damn old.
Okay. I have to get stuff done, you guys.
I am going to show some houses.
Oh, nice.
Awesome. Oh, those clients?
Yep, I got
Sweet.
that list of 7. Yep, I got the list of 7 down to 3. Thanks, ChatGPT.
Nice.
Oh, the band Bear, the band Bear called you about yesterday. They're actually going to be playing a 2-hour drive for me this fall. $60 is all.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
The Scalpers, and they're playing in Atlanta too, but the Scalpers are basically ruined that. Minimum is like 200 there.
Mm-mm.
Say,
For
Halsey
general
plays in Tampa tomorrow night.
Nice.
$125.
Show something quick.
So my property that I'm showing, Jen, when sellers are getting desperate.
Yep.
So I talked to the agent. Their sellers have already moved out of it.
Oh, so they're definitely needing to sell.
Yeah. So, and this will be the second weekend since they did that price reduction. Yep.
Sweet. Is that the one that's favored? Like, do you think they're going to like that one the most?
I don't know. I think it's the best buy as far as value.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely the best value, without a doubt.
Well, you shall find out.
Yep. Like, the pictures aren't great and it's not staged well, but honestly, it needs paint. That's about it.
That's cute.
Are you talking about what I just sent you?
Mm-hmm.
The AI has gotten so much better with image drawing.
Yes, it has. Chat specifically.
Mm-hmm. Part of what we teach you in the Hype Collective.
Yup. Speaking of that, who's in here? Okay, Clinton, are you oh, he left. Dang it. Never mind. Never mind.
So how'd you meet Quentin? How'd he find you? TikTok?
Post on Workplace.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Was that the one you posted this week, or was that a while back?
I think it was the one from this week.
Okay, sweet.
Mm-hmm.
No, I like his vibe.
Yeah, he's cool.
How long has he been an agent?
A year.
Mm-hmm.
He's exactly who we were talking about earlier.
He really is. I know. I was like, when you were saying that, I'm like, yep, it's exactly who we wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Jared, can you check really quick for me? Has Bev signed the referral form?
Give me one moment. If I can type the web address correct, I'm just I'm logging in right now to look for you.
Thank you.
I love this whole just give it your laptop, your fingerprint, and it enters the password for you.
I know. It's very, very convenient.
That's the John and Misty one, right?
Yeah.
All right, give me a second. It looks like she did. Wait. Yeah, she did. We're just waiting on. Yeah.
Okay. She
So-
said that she hasn't received it. So can you text me what email it was sent to for her, for the third person?
Oh, yeah. Give me one moment.
And what date it was sent?
Yep. Give me a moment. Okay. Yep. There you go.
Oh, it's misspelled. There's two. The I and the N are.
All right. I'm sorry about that.
That's okay. I'll just tell her that we'll resend it now.
Does that mean everyone have to re-sign?
No. Just correct her email and then resend.
All right. So correct envelope.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, correct an envelope will require signed recipients to start over.
Can you go into the contact we should be able to correct
You
emails.
should be able to. You should be able to hit resend there and just edit the email.
Yeah.
Okay.
When you click resend, see if it pops up the contact.
Remind and resend. Okay. Oh, here we go.
Perfect.
Tina Pugh.
I feel
All right,
like
I see what
I spoke with my eyes closed now.
Yeah, you still need to do that offer you gave me of a boot camp. All right. All right. Just resent it.
Thank you.
How the hell did the other ones get signed then? Or was it just?
It was just that one, I think. Or you probably typed it in differently.
All right. It happens.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. Horse trot.
We have a question in the TikTok chat.
Oh, let's look. What is your question? Oh, Stephanie and I are going to schedule a meeting with you next week to go over what she needs. Woohoo! Is anyone familiar with selling a HUD home in Texas? Chunkla Chunker, I am familiar with selling a HUD home in Texas specifically. No, I have an agent though on the Hype Squad that does. She's licensed in Texas and sells a lot of homes there, and I think she's sold HUD homes there. So if you need me to connect you with her, great. But if you have any questions about just selling HUD homes, I mean, obviously there's going to be state specific things, but if you have a particular question, feel free to pop it in the chat. What's up, Cassie? Thanks for the follow, Cassie. Appreciate you. And thanks for the likes. Those of you tapping and not napping.
That's such a great phrase. If you ain't tapping, you napping.
Reet deet doo. Reet deet doo.
Oh, good. Yeesh.
All right, I'm heading into a showing. I will talk to y'all later.
Bye.
Good
Have a
luck.
good one. So Doriak, you've been quiet.
He's on mute right now.
Oh.
Oh, nope, not anymore.
Hope you're cold calling. She'll let us hear it.
Yeah, or he could. It could be also. He's out there in the middle of Kansas. The location, the signal
Don't talk about
sometimes
me.
ain't.
Don't be talking about me.
We do what we damn want.
Oh, but Manny, yay, I'm excited. I will keep an eye out for your schedule. Oh, by the way, I'm doing 3 podcasts next week.
I can't wait to see him.
Oh my goodness. So I'm doing I'm going to be on the Icons of Real Estate podcast on Monday, and then I'm interviewing David Radney on Wednesday, and I'm interviewing, do you guys know Chi TV?
Yep.
On Friday.
Mhm.
Can't wait.
Nice.
Can't wait. So all of you watching, stay tuned. Go subscribe to my YouTube channel and my Spotify channel to get the replays of all those. And I'm going to be going live on all my platforms. So make sure that you tune in. 11 o'clock. What is it? Oh my gosh, time zones. It's going to be 2 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday with D-Rad, and then 11 a.m. Eastern with Chi TV on Friday next week. And then
Which works
Icons
out
of Real
to 8
Estate
a.m.
is probably
Pacific.
not going to be live streamed, huh?
So the 11 a.m. will work out to 8 a.m. Pacific.
Yeah. Friday. Excuse me. Oh my goodness gracious.
Doing the math there for you.
Thanks.
You got a full deck already stacked up of people you're interviewing.
I have 1, 2,
Neil's got-
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got 7 in the next like 8 weeks.
We could get you a few more, and you can field a baseball team.
Yeah. So next week's going to be busy. Plus, next week, you guys, we have our Hype Collective group coaching call on Tuesday. It's not too late to get all signed up. If you go to my profile link, you can check out all the details. But you get group coaching from me twice a month. We're going to be talking about listing appointments on Tuesday for the group coaching call. You've got the vault, all the tools, systems, processes, scripts, tech, AI, social media marketing, lead generation, lead conversion, sales and negotiation psychology, tools, templates, like literally everything is in that vault. And then also our community, which is fabulous. The voices that you hear that I'm chatting with is in my Discord channel in the Hype Collective office. So you get access to all of that. So you got community, you got the tools and resources, you got the coaching. So go check it out. It's on my profile link. And you could be with us on Tuesday.
3 pillars of support.
Yep.
So how far out are you scheduled with right now? About how far out are you scheduled with interviews? I'm guessing end of June.
Through the end of June. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So if someone wants to, if you want to get on my my Hype Seat podcast, then I am booking into July.
I have 2 or 3 people that I know and I can reach out to.
Sweet. Manny, I want to know, I want an update on your client that had a little pew pew incident. You know what I'm talking about? Very, very curious.
It's hard to do in the constraints of the TikTok.
TikTok gods.
Yes. TikTok overseers.
This has been a wild week. I've had some really interesting conversations. I did call 6 people. I'm calling all the Hype Collective people. Just having a little chit chat with them, seeing how things are going, making sure they're getting all set up.
Mhm.
Questions.
There are a few of them. There are a few of them who have not done the survey yet. Let me go back into that and see which ones have it. So you have those for your notes, Jen.
Thank you. I did pull up that list that you emailed me. Because you emailed me their results.
Yeah, I shared a note with you earlier today of the first collective meeting.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, wrong device. I'm just going to use the same note and add who needs to do survey still. You might see me editing it right now.
Okay.
What I need to do right now is find some angel investors to help me with my first couple properties.
You need to find what?
Some hard money lenders or,
Oh.
or angel investors that'll help me to flip my first couple properties so I can develop.
Why didn't you say so? I've got some people.
I need them.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I've got private money people. What and
I'll make them a ton of money. I just need them to work with me. That's it.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of them right now are, wanting their money to be spent. So
Yeah.
Manny says he has someone. So we're gonna reschedule some viewings. Nice.
I'm looking at opportunities every day that I'm like, man, if somebody would go in with this, we could make a fuck ton of money.
Yep.
So-
All right. I'm gonna make some calls.
Mm. Yes, yeah. Do it.
Oh, marketing magician. I just saw you added, which is fantastic. A calendar for people that want to put in their application. Maybe it's not active. It looks like there's no slots available. Or actually maybe yeah, it doesn't say there's any dates available.
Okay, Jen, if you go to the bottom of that note I shared with you earlier, you'll see the ones that still have to do the survey.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem. That's what I'm here for.
She's not with Jim tonight. She's in the gym tonight. That song is stuck in my head all day.
it's a banger.
I've had the most stemming thing stuck in my head since Tuesday or so, after watching an episode of Doctor Who.
Nice.
No, I gotta text it to you. It's this cute little creature that was just, they had singing in it. Give me a second. I'm not gonna do the song, but you'll get a sense. All right, I just texted it to you, Jen.
Funny.
It's the most stemming thing, and let's just put it this way: the bear has told me I cannot send it to her partner.
Probably smart.
How is it the end of May already?
No idea.
I
It's
can't believe,
May.
dude, you got, yeah. I can't believe you got 10 listings yesterday, dude.
I got more today.
Heck yeah.
I got another one I got to go list tomorrow.
At this rate, your TC's going to be crying. No.
She's already like, damn, dude, I didn't think it was going to be like this. I told you. I was like, I've been looking. I've just been waiting for somebody that I can unload this on. So now that you're fucking here, get fucking ready. Because I'm fucking going, dude.
When it rains, it pours.
I just got to teach her how to input on the MLS now, so I don't have to do that either.
Yeah.
You're going to have to order more signs.
I just ordered 10 today.
Attaboy.
This is Amaranth Como with EXP Realty. I'm sorry I missed your call. I'm either with a call.
One call down, a million others to go.
My nephew turns 18 tonight, and we're taking him out to dinner.
Oh, that's fun.
Nice. All right, he's a legal adult.
Please leave your message.
Yeah, his mom was like, let's take him to the strip club. I was like, that's 21. We're not there yet.
A couple more years.
It's all permanent at this point.
Yeah.
I get permanent. My arm's been itching.
Because you're not putting a bomb on it as much as you should. You need to make sure you have a centimeter thick layer on that shit at all times. Especially for like your first couple weeks.
I need my headphones.
Damn, dude, your fucking bumper's about to come off. Jesus. Stop looking at your phone.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system. 6.
For the love of Pete, real estate agents, have a voicemail greeting.
Jen, I just sent you something.
Okay.
Just so you know, as you're doing this.
Thank you. I will. What's up, everybody? We're making some calls. Just letting the fam know about the Hive Collective. What's up, Jer?
I was going to say, seriously though, how hard is it for people to leave a voicemail? Outgoing voicemail message.
I don't leave voicemails. I text you. If you don't answer,
No, that's not. That's
He
not
meant
what
a
we're talking
voicemail
about.
greeting.
We're talking about when people call you, your voicemail set up so that they can leave one with you if they want.
Mine still says Jeremy Salina Homes.
Jeremy,
I'm just playing.
I'm gonna fly over there and
Zaddy,
give you a high five.
Zaddy wanted to meet Jen in person. He just didn't think it'd be under those circumstances. Her chewing him out. Set the voicemail up. Set the voicemail up.
Jen, it's nice to meet you. Don't hit me.
Do you ever read someone's name and be like, what were your parents thinking?
I've been doing deals all over Kansas to the point that when people look me up now, it says I'm in Overland Park, which is like 4 hours away from me.
Actually, my phone number is kind of like that in Florida because I got a Florida number. It's like, meh, well, whatever. Conversation starter.
Yeah.
You know, that'd be a good business. Someone just to do the naming of your child. We're gonna set you up with a name that will be commercially viable for the resume. Some people just look into it. I mean, Nicole's last name, that's just perfect for marketing right there.
Oh, yeah.
Right. There's another realtor out here. His name's Jim Beam, like Flickr.
That's awesome.
That's his actual name.
I love that.
Call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system. 2.
I swear, sometimes I feel like the people in my TikTok chat send other messages that I don't see. Oh, look at you, handsome.
We're missing something from Bear on her.
Yeah.
I'm so wet.
You're so
I
wet.
got some milk in the bottle.
Did you ask Daddy?
Got some milk in
Yeah, because you know his answer, huh? You can have milk in a cup or juice. Why don't you go with some juice?
Yeah. I have some milk in the cup.
Okay, go tell Dad. Go tell Dad. He'll be so proud of you.
Oh no. Can you get
Want me to get it?
Yeah.
What baby wants, baby gets.
Ow, ow, ow,
Oh, pumpkin. That's owies. You bumped your head. You tough? You tough? You're not
Mommy,
tough.
how dare you give me a car with regular doors?
Oh, pumpkins.
I was
Here,
just
come
thinking
here.
of that one line, the
BRB.
puts baby in the corner.
Come here. Come here. Oh, you're over.
Well, she's doing that, Zaddy. What's the most vulgar thing that we? No, just kidding. Let's push the TikTok.
I'm good on that.
I'm good. Yeah, we do not need the Bear upset us.
Don't. Don't want no short shrimp, man.
How the heck do you open this thing? Oh. Maybe. Ah. Well, that makes sense. Your son's in the middle of baseball season, isn't he?
Yeah.
How long does their season go for? Regular season, I guess. It's like,
I have no idea, dude. I don't pay attention.
well, they won the state championships. Congratulations, parents! They're going to nationals. You got more time to deal with it now.
Yep.
Well, we don't know how it happened. They won the nationals. Now they got to go represent the U.S.
That'd be cool.
Better go get your passport.
I already have mine.
Did you see what sport they're going to have in the Olympics in 2028 in LA?
No.
Flag football.
Oh, that's actually pretty sweet.
That is sweet.
And they just announced the other day NFL players can try out if they want to.
Hell yeah. That'd be awesome.
It's going to be a slaughter.
Oh, dude, it's going to be great.
My son is in the stage of he wants mommy to do everything.
Um,
Oh, I love it. How old is he?
3.
Yep. Well,
He's
that's
like
how. When did he turn 3?
January.
Yeah, my daughter just turned 3 in May.
Is she a mama's
So-
girl?
She's mommy's girl all the way, man. The only time she wants daddy is when she wants to snuggle.
Aw, that's not a bad gig. Yeah.
No, I love her. My little princess. I tell her all the time, "You're my little princess." She goes, "I know."
I tell Dom he's my hero. I'm like, "Are you my hero? Are you mommy's hero?" He's like, "Yes, mom. I protect you." Perfect.
I love that.
all right, so if you're Dom's go-to, what about Brooklyn? Is it you or is it on your?
You know, I feel
Okay.
like, yeah, ages like 5 and under, it is a lot of just mom, but they both love their dad too. It's just like when they're hurt or if they're upset or if they're tired, like that's when they both want mom.
I get. There's a psychological aspect to it too.
Yeah. Hey, Chanel. Oh, she left. Darn it.
I just applied the Bears' other birthday gift to me in the office supplies. I just sent it to you.
That's awesome.
I still haven't Dude, I need to send out those fucking patches. They're sitting in my carry-on cabinet.
You need to send them to Stylish Bear, and she can, because she has all the things to be able to put them on.
Actually,
All right, you guys, I gotta go.
okay.
All
Plus,
right.
no one's
Spend time with your
answering.
kids.
I will.
Have fun with the family.
Okay.
Love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Have a good day.
All right, everybody that's on live, I must be going. But if you have not yet, check out the Hype Collective. That's the screenshot that you see. That is a few snapshots of what it looks like in the vault to get access to all of the things. We've got scripts, we have systems, tools, processes, tech, AI stuff, ChatGPT courses, lead conversion, lead follow-up, luxury systems, investor systems, like so much stuff in there to help you guys in your real estate business. So check that out. We have our next group coaching meeting is happening on Tuesday next week. It's every second and fourth Tuesdays when I do the live group coaching calls. And then you get access to the vault, of course, and then you get access to a private area in my Discord channel to collaborate with everyone in the collective. So check that out. Also, once a month for free on Zoom, I do a Follow Up is Forever event. So if you are someone that needs to work on your follow-up, which is pretty much everybody, check it out. It'll be super helpful for you. Also, I have a ton of interviews coming up in the next like 6-8 weeks. So check out my YouTube channel and my my Hype Seat podcast on Spotify. All of my handles are A State of Jen, except for TikTok. It's A State of Jen Official. And you can sign up for my newsletter. There's so many ways to connect. So go check out my profile links and DM me if you have any questions, or you can schedule a call if you have more specific things you want to chat about. If you're looking to buy or sell real estate, I'm also here for you on that too. I'm licensed in 3 states, and then I've got agents all over the place that can help. So have a phenomenal Memorial Day weekend, and I'll see you.